You know what I really hate is when people call people ma'am.
Oh, I hate ma'am.
Ma'am and sir.
Sir, that's terrible.
Yes, ma'am.
No,
Yes,
no, no.
ma'am.
That's the worst thing. Anytime I have an employee that calls, I don't care if the woman is 95 years old. I think most normal people, unless they have a self-esteem problem and they like to be called Mrs. Stanek or whatever, because that like makes them seem bigger or better or whatever, I've always preferred to be called by my first name. I think it's,
Even by me.
even by Lorraine. I mean, I think it's polite whenever you have one of your kids' friends come to your house and they call you Mrs. Stanek or they call you Mr. Stanek, and I always say, you can call me Debbie. Call me Debbie. Because when people call me Mrs. Stanek, I feel old. And when I moved from the city to the suburbs, everybody became Mrs., but in the city where people are more sophisticated, it wasn't Mrs. Everybody called everybody by the first name. So I think it's just a more sophisticated thing to do, in my mind, to call people. I think it is lovely if it's a teenager or a middle schooler or whatever they are, and they come to your house and they're calling you and being polite and calling you
Mrs. Stanek doesn't sound so bad, but if they were calling you ma'am, I hate that.
Then over the years, have hired employees that they really don't, they feel uncomfortable with how to talk to a woman. So then they'll say, ma'am, I have your package over here, ma'am. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I'd rather just say if I needed to get someone's attention, I didn't know their name, excuse me.
That sounds much better. Excuse me. Yeah, that sounds much better. That's a good, sometimes it's hard because every once in a while somebody will call me on the phone. This is Mrs. So-and-so. I was there today or
Mrs.
whatever.
Patrick.
And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, whatever. But it's weird. Yeah, I don't like the Mrs. thing. I don't like that at all.
From now
And
on.
I don't like ma'am at all, or sir. Sir is probably not as bad as ma'am, but if you work in a store, whether it's Target, Kmart, Walmart, McDonald's, whatever, if you call somebody ma'am or sir, I just think it's not so good. It's almost insulting because basically that's what they're saying to you is you're old.
Yeah.
The other thing I hate is if you're in the grocery store and they say, can I help you with your cart? Do I look in any way like I need help pushing a cart out to my car?
Yes.
I mean, maybe if I had a baby in here or like two carts or whatever, maybe I need help with a cart. I always kid them and I'll say, I'll let you know when I need help. Not yet.
That just sounds rude.
I don't say that. I say, no, I'm fine. Thanks for offering or whatever. But no, I hate that. I just think they're lazy and they want to get outside of the store.
I'm going to have people start calling you Mrs. Peter Stanek, so then you aren't a person anymore. You're just the wife of Peter Stanek.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting concept.
Another pet peeve I had was when people would call the teacher Miss. Hey, Miss. Hey, Miss. Miss, 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 Miss. Like, don't you know your teacher's name?
That's poor behavior.
I don't like that.
I don't like Miss, Ma'am, Mrs. I don't really like any of them. Ms. The word Ms. MS. I hate that. Did you ever put your name like Ms. Lorraine Stanek?
No, I'm just the Lorraine Stanek.
Or Miss Lorraine Stanek?
No. Cotillion, maybe.
Oh, for cotillion. The appropriate behavior. I don't think cotillion is bad, or what is the other thing you do after cotillion?
Debutante.
Debutante. I don't think it's bad because it just teaches some decent
Worldly
behaviors. I think a lot of people don't know how to set a table. I think that's one thing you learn at cotillion, right? How to set a table.
I believe so. I already knew how to do that.
I know you did, but most people don't know how to set a table.
Maybe
we'll do a video on how to set the table.
Yes. And if you're confused when you're at dinner or something, it's always the smallest to the largest is how it works. The smallest utensil to the largest. So that's why the salad is smaller than the... Actually, what about dessert fork, though? Oh, fuck.
It gets messed up. Well, then that's a separate place setting. They don't put the dessert fork out with your
Yeah.
dinner unless you're trying to get you not to eat dinner.
I don't like dinner. I like dessert.
I prefer dessert. If you have to hold back, I'd rather have like the dessert.
I'd rather have a tub of
sometimes
ice cream every night with my little heart spoon.
Sometimes I go to a restaurant and I look at the menu and nothing appeals to me, and then I see the dessert and I think, wow, I wish I could just order dessert.